Now, on a lighter note, let's talk about toxic people. Okay, maybe it's not all that lighter note, but let me ask you this. Do you know someone whom you would call toxic? This is a loaded question. So let me rephrase. Does navigating a relationship, professional or personal, feel like you're walking across a minefield? If yes, this story is for you, because that toxic relationship is reducing your lifespan. And we aren't saying this. Maria is. Maria Branyas. She was the world's oldest person. Earlier this year, she celebrated her 117th birthday, and this week she died in her sleep. She had no major health issues. She lived a long, happy life, long enough to become a super centenarian or someone who is 110 years old or more. She struck 117 years. It does sound like a superhuman quality. But how did she get there? Well, she attributed her longevity to a number of things, including luck, good genes, and staying away from toxic people. Now, the first two things, luck and good genes, are not within our control. So I guess Branyas did get lucky that way. But that third bit, staying away from toxicity, that is something all of us can work on. And it would be in our favor, not because that's the Gen Z mantra and you do not want to get on their wrong side, but because plenty of research agrees with this, and we'll tell you why. But first, let's answer a basic question. Who are toxic people? For starters, toxic is a potent word. It literally means the ability to cause harm, and anyone can do that. We can all be spiteful, selfish, or lacking in empathy at some point in time, so the term is completely subjective. But generally speaking, toxic relationships are draining, and they harm your mental health. No shocker there. But bad relationships are bad for our physical health as well, not just our mental health, the physical health too. They increase our risk of depression, high blood pressure, and obesity. And what about healthy relationships? Well, they have the very opposite effect. More than wealth, IQ, or social class, positive relationships make for a happy life. They ensure our good health. They boost our immune system. They protect us against stress, depression, decline in memory and language, heart disease, and diabetes. In short, they help us live longer. But we don't really need studies to tell us this, do we? We know that toxic relationships are bad for us. We don't actively seek them out, yet every one of us has dealt with someone who we think of as toxic, be it at home or at work. It could be a friend, a partner, a parent, a boss. It could be anyone, really. So how can we avoid toxic people? Well, this too is a tricky question because it is nearly impossible to do so. So let's rephrase this question too. How can we deal with toxic people? What tools do we have at our disposal? Research suggests a three-step approach. The first step is to recognize the problem. And this may sound like a no-brainer, but this is usually the toughest bit. Noticing the red flags, the lack of respect, the manipulation, the abuse, it is not easy. But acknowledging a toxic relationship marks the beginning of its end. As a second step, set healthier boundaries. If need be, walk away and focus on what is good for you. Which brings us to the third step, nurturing positive relationships. After all, isn't that the end goal? Avoiding toxic relationships so we can make space for healthier ones and invest in them. And this process is not always easy, but it pays big dividends of not just a happy, healthy life, but clearly a longer one too.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished. Obviously today, the T20 World Cup Bangladesh has moved across to the West Indies. What can we expect?